Yeah, I don't see a reason why fighting games should not go free to play. I don't see the angle. Maybe if they're super content heavy, but to be honest, fighting games are not that good on content. It's mostly just you playing against another player. They sometimes have single player content, but the only single player content that's worth playing for, in my opinion, is NRS. And even then, I honestly don't think fighting games should be full price. Though not to discredit NRS, their single player content is a lot of effort. So is other games. But you get my drift. I think fighting games should definitely go free to play. Does that make sense? Like, it's not even with just new players. With fighting game pros, vets, connoisseurs, people like me who play all the time, it will be a massive, and I mean massive boost to be able to hop between platforms. I mean, between games without having to pay. Like, imagine, that is a fantasy that shouldn't be a fantasy because the fighting game scene is the only scene I want to say that has not embraced this free to play format. Just imagine being able or like anticipating a new fighting game and knowing you don't have to spend a dime to check it out. And if you like it, you can support it. Like that just feels like the right relationship. Sure, we've been paying all our lives, but free to play is where the numbers are. Even in COD, right? We paid for COD all our lives, but the multiplayer is free to play now. Or at least the Battle Royale, I want to say. I'm too lazy to research it, but I am 100% sure the Battle Royale is free to play. I don't know about the rest of the multiplayer. And that's Call of Duty. And if Call of Duty can go free to play, this struggling ass fighting game scene can definitely attempt to. And who knows, bro? Maybe that's the second wave. Because I feel like if a game is good and has all the bells and whistles, right? It's good, rollback, good lobbies. That's the three things. The game itself is good and fun. Rollback, good lobbies, and cloud platform. That seems to be the next thing we want now. A game should thrive if it's free to play because if there's no payment wall, then it's all about the game. And it should be all about the game.
Hmm? Boom. It's all about the game.
Gaming's all about the game, sir.
I knew you wouldn't understand.
Free to play wouldn't mean free to play necessarily. We gotta pay somewhere somehow. But to keep it real, I honestly don't expect to be paying more than I'm paying right now. Like, not at all. Video games are expensive. Fighting games are expensive. In Canada, a brand new game is $80. That's a lot. And if you want the deluxe edition, it's 120. That's usually for fans, but still 120. And then, plus 30, 40 for every pass. Keep stacking. And that's $80 just to enter. Especially, I don't know if it's still common nowadays, but people usually advocate for players, newer players, newbies, to play a fighting game when it's brand new, when it just comes out, because that's when it's most welcoming, that's when most newer players will be, and that's when most new players will be in general, and it makes a lot of sense. But still though, to play a game when it just comes out, that is $80, and you don't even know if you like the game or not. And fighting games already has this reputation to being niche. Like, I feel like everybody has played a fighting game at one point. So I don't know what the niche thing is. I feel like it's just our numbers are low, but I don't think fighting games are that niche. Anyway, fighting games already have this reputation of being kind of niche for some reason. So there's already so many barriers. Especially another reason being we're like the only scene that's not embraced this format, this free-to-play format. We're so late. We're always late. We were late to rollback. Like, from what I've heard, rollback has been around for maybe 15 years, probably longer. I'm not gonna do the research, but I could have definitely made it a thing of how it's a thing right now and it's common in every game. This could have been a thing at least 5 years ago, and it's here now. And free to play has been a thing for everybody. Every other genre has already tried their take, for better or for worse. And I feel like fighting games are kind of maybe starting to explore that now, and we need to push the gas pedal a little bit. And it's not really us, it's more the devs, but I feel like that's the way. I think a ceiling for a free-to-play game is way higher than a really, really, really good fighting game that you have to pay for. Like, take Strive, for instance, right? It was like super praised by literally everybody. The game is probably the best looking fighting game ever. I'm not gonna really do some comparison, but it's amazing, right? But in the grand scheme of scales, it's not that much. Like, I know it did good for Strive, but I don't even think it did good for like a fighting game. But if Strive was free and it was that pretty, that accessible, that welcoming, it would have more players. And also maybe to go back to the new players being recommended to play a game when it's new. Free-to-play game already has this lurking player base of newcomers. Like, it's already more welcoming. I feel like if you try a fighting game later in its lifespan, even if you're new, you're a rookie, you completely suck, there is some interest there. But if a game is free to play, you could simply try it out because it looks cool. And yes, that is interest, but that's not interest enough to pay for it, right? Like when you buy a fighting game later in its lifespan, you do expect to invest some time and get better, but you can pay a free to play game just for the fun of it. Therefore, there'll be more players just lurking around, and more players can just hop on a game at any time, rather when it's really hard when something new just came out or when the game just comes out. I feel like free to play has so many benefits that could benefit the FGC in general. And yeah, that's my take. Thanks for watching. I don't have an outro. And yeah, I don't know if you guys caught, but I shot this video like in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching. And I think it's gonna make it through editing. Usually I'll be like, maybe it will not make it through editing because I've made so many videos. But I'm editing right now, and I wouldn't shoot it in the dark if I know I was not gonna use it. So yeah, hopefully you'll see it soon.